Welcome to the Unwashedasses, episode 61, recorded for Friday, November 30th? 30th, 2018. Alright, so, a little bit of delays, but so far I like the 3 a week. So I need some feedback. How you guys digging it? Do you like the shorter episodes? Do you like the increased frequency? Or are you like me and you just hate the sound of my voice? Like, why am I still listening to this? I should unsubscribe. But please don't do that. Please don't. Yeah, so I'm driving around, getting rained on. Actually recording this on Sunday. Time got away from me with the boy, which is okay, you know. Time spent with the kids is the time that's best spent. Wouldn't trade it for the world, so I'm okay with getting this one out a little late because you're still getting it, and you get one tomorrow. But yeah, it's nasty. We had all this nice, delightful snow, and everything was looking pretty, and then the temperature got a little bit warmer, a little hair warmer, and now it's raining, and everything's muddy, and my boots are just getting caked in it. My pants had to rerun a line through some bushes, and I'm all filthy and wet and not in any of the good senses. So yeah, I'm driving through the rain now, looking at brown and gray landscape. But not what I'm here to talk about today. Today what we're talking about is disconnecting. Taking a sabbatical, if you would, from the internet, which is funny because I'm producing shows for the internet and trying to gain traction there. No, I'm talking about for like my own mental health. I have been increasingly spending time on sites like Reddit and Imgur since, discovering them years ago, and it's gotten to the point now where, data plans are super cheap, or I'm always on Wi-Fi, so with a new phone or my tablet, or even, sitting at my computer, it's easy enough just to flip through mindlessly all the new posts and read all the rants and raves, and I'm not so sure that it's a good thing for me anymore. To me, it's like the epitome of mindless entertainment. I have what's kind of like a digital routine as far as what I do when I'm using my phone. I don't play mobile games because they drive me nuts, and I'm not going to get into that because it's been covered before. But the bulk of my phone usage comes from reading either my news feed. I use the Google Newsstand app, and Twitter. I've aggregated it to where it's not just following like people I'm interested in, but also like news sites and things that keep me up to date without necessarily like having to watch the evening news. It's more curated. Same thing with like my Google Newsstand. So that's absolutely fantastic. At least once a day I'll sit and I'll go through the Twitter feed, I'll go through Google Newsstand. But once I've done that, I've kind of consumed all the actual news that I'm really interested in, that have been put out by major publications. So then it falls onto like Reddit, where it's another like news aggregator where it's like technology or gaming news, or essentially what is the absolute latest information that people are finding. And lately it has just become so incredibly toxic and disparaging and discouraging that I don't know I should be doing it anymore, or at least severely cut back on my consumption of it. Because literally, if I have downtime, I'm looking at my phone and I'm just refreshing or going deeper into the troves that are, Reddit. Not so much Imgur, just because, and I can attest with the Pepsi Challenge now, like, it ran like absolute garbage on the Nexus 5X. I just got a Pixel 3. It runs better, but it still makes the phone really hot and still drains the battery. Just terribly designed at this point. It really needs a good overhaul. But I digress. Reddit, though, is nice and easy to use, and it's mostly text only, so I'm able to read through posts, read through the comments, get more information. But, like, case in point, two subreddits I'm absolutely obsessed with are, like, the WoW subreddit and Destiny subreddit. And up until the release of Forsaken, Destiny subreddit was nothing but bitching, constant complaining. Like, Warmind had helped abate it, but, you know, if you've been following Destiny 2 at any point, you know that it's been met with just constant plague of complaints, both critically and from consumers. And now with Activision saying, you know, oh, it's not performing to our expectations, the community's worried, like, how is that going to affect us? They have the new DLC coming out. It's just, it's a lot more positivity than it used to be, but, you know, it was to the point where there was a separate Destiny subreddit, you know, called Low Sodium Destiny. And WoW is in the same place that Destiny used to be as far as complaints, because there's I don't know if it's the vocal minority, I would assume so, is just bitching up a storm about the latest expansion. I personally enjoy it a great deal. I'm having fun with it, but nothing but complaints when you go onto the WoW subreddit. And same thing if you even go, you know, like if I'm looking for help for a quest or I want to find something specific in the game, I might venture into Blizzard's official forums, and it's just nothing but bitching and complaining. And now with the latest debacles that happened with Diablo Immortal being announced as a mobile-only title, and no real news on Diablo 4, and the fucking Fallout that was Fallout 76, and how that game was implemented with microtransactions and lack of actual content and server instability and security flaws and terrible controls and really no engagement. And now the whole canvas bag fiasco, where they had told people, oh, you buy the $200 collector's edition, you get a power armor helmet, a map, and little trinkets, and you get a canvas bag that's like Vault 76. Instead of canvas, though, it came out as nylon, and somebody had posted on Reddit, oh yeah, I wrote to customer support. I received this nylon bag in my collector's edition instead of, you know, the nice looking canvas bag, and they said, oh, it turns out it was too expensive for us to manufacture, so we said the nylon instead, and we're not going to fix that. And then we find out days later that they gave canvas bags to influencers, and it's a mess, and people are complaining and angry about the state of gaming, which a large part of my interests, you know, as you well know, and it may be the same for you, that's where my interests lie. And so with people just complaining nonstop about things that I'm interested in, and, you know, what's going on politically, which I'm not even going to get into because I don't like politics, it's overwhelming. And especially if you're like me and you're just checking the same railroad tracks, the same news sites and reading the same stories over and over. And that's what's terrible about Reddit, is that unless the mods are really good in a community and will step in and like, okay, well, this one's been posted too many times, we're aggregating everything to one thread, any new posts just get moved there, you'll see the same shit over and over again. And, you know, some of it are very valid points, but unless, like, the game developer actually makes the requested changes, you're going to keep seeing the same posts over and over again. And so it's like this just non-ending cycle of bitching and crying and unnecessary anger. And on top of that, then, if we, like, segue over to Imager, it's just mindless content, you know? It's nothing too new, too original. It's mostly, you know, as they say, reposts. And while reposts are fine, you know, if you've seen the same thing or something akin to the same thing multiple times over, much like Reddit, it's your mind glazes over, and there's nothing of substance being introduced to it. And it actively makes me feel like I'm getting dumber. It makes me feel like I'm actively getting dumber, I should say. So it's, I don't know. It's at the point where I think I need to, disconnect, at least from Reddit and Imager, as far as what my consumption rates are. Maybe if I just do it, all right, once a week, I'll sit down and I'll do the mindless self-indulgence, and I'll look at the funny posts and pictures of cats and whatnot. But hold on, sorry about that. But yeah, it's to the point where I think I can do the mindless self-indulgence maybe once a week, or just I need to read more. I'm getting discouraged because I notice I've not read anything in a very, very long time. I actually sat down and read a story. It used to be my thing, before you go to bed, turn on the nightstand, prop up a pillow, and read a good book and get invested in a story. And I've not done that in ages, and I notice my attention span is absolutely shot. Unless I'm getting some form of immediate gratification, no matter how minuscule, my attention will wander and I get distracted, and I hate that. It actively makes me feel dumb. So I need to retrain myself and put the phone down, essentially. So yeah, I mean, I notice, I've read things like, oh yeah, people get the same thing about Facebook, where they're just constantly checking it. And since nobody posts anything, that's actually true on Facebook, usually it's like how great things are going, and we just did this, or we just released that, and here's all this amazing stuff that's happening, instead of the real nitty gritty of what goes on in life. And it's a big endless circle jerk of keeping up with the Joneses. It's depressing, and you find yourself just checking it over and over again. And I don't know if it's the same for you as it is for me. Like, I keep a very pruned list of people on Facebook. The number's definitely less than 50. It's grown over the years, but I like to keep it pruned. There's no need for, people I don't talk to that I knew in high school, or childhood friends that, I don't even live in the same state anymore. But what Facebook does is okay, because I'll check it maybe once every 2-3 days. And instead of doing the highlights sort, I'll go by most recent, because I don't necessarily trust or like the idea of Facebook thinking, okay, well, here's what's most important to you. Let's sort it based on this. No. We'll just do the timeline feed. What happened today, and then what happened yesterday, and the day before. And then I'll go through, and eventually, Facebook, again, it could be totally different for you. But it used to just go on and on and on and on. You could go all the way back to the beginning of time, back when dinosaurs were posting, oh yes, I ate a triceratops today, and here's a picture of it. Or there were hairy little creatures that were shooting arrows at me, and I stomped them with my foot. Such as, prehistoric Facebook. But now it cuts things off, where if you go back more than a couple days, it's oh, no, you've reached everything. You don't need to know anything more about what's been going on in your friends' lives. Here is the stop. If you want to know more, make more friends, or add in new pages of interest. Here are some things we could recommend to you, or people we think you should be friends with. And it's I don't care, Facebook. The people that are on my friends list, they are there for a reason. Even though I should do another calling here soon. Let the purges begin. If I haven't talked to you, or I find you even the least bit disagreeable, I am going to remove you. But, my interests are temporary. It's usually the latest game or movie that's come out, and I don't need fucking Bones posting things like, well, Booth's been dead for years. What's Bones gonna do on this latest episode for a show that hasn't been out in years? Or House. It's we're re-releasing things on Blu-ray. I don't care. So I think just, disconnecting myself and making myself more scholarly. Reading books of science and mathematics and physics. Or just terrible science fiction like I'm prone to reading. Or actually, taking the time and working on another project instead of just fucking around on the internet and accomplishing nothing. And that's ultimately what it comes down to is the greater sense of satisfaction. I can invest the time and resources and turn out something great, like writing a book or creating an art project or writing a post or making a podcast. Or I could sit on the internet and look at pictures of cats and accomplish nothing with my life. So, I don't know. I gotta do something. We'll see how it goes through to the end of the year. But holy shit, this voice recorder app is just killing my battery. Interesting. Alright, but that's going to do it for this episode. We'll be back again Monday. Of course, if you want to write the show with any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, or compliments, head over and drop an email at theunwashedasses@gmail.com. Again, theunwashedasses@gmail.com. And of course, please support the show. We only ask $1 a month. If you head over to patreon.com/zeroand09, ZEROAND09. $1 a month is all we ask. If we get up to $100 a month, this show gets to be 5 times a week. And of course, if you can't afford to support the show, just tell a friend. That's all we ask. But until next time...